I want to help you to be happy, to feel happiness, to see where happiness lives. Ask all 8 billion of us on this planet Earth, what do you want? What do you truly want? We want to be happy. Ask any parent what they want for their child. We want them to be happy. It's universal, yet so elusive. And it's not like we're not trying to be happy. It's just that maybe, just maybe, we're looking in the wrong place. Because we're so conditioned to think that our happiness is somewhere else. It's in something or some object or some trip or vacation or relationship or in the future. And so we say things like, I'm getting there, or one day when, fill in the blank, then I'll be happy. One day when I get married, then I'll be happy. One day when I take that trip to Italy finally, then I'll be happy. One day when I get that promotion at work in that corner office, then I'll be happy. One day when I get that new iPhone 15, then I'll be happy. One day when I get that shiny new car, then I will be happy. And whether we can see this or not, what we're basically saying is, I'm not happy now, but when I get that thing, then I will be happy. And subconsciously, we're overvaluing the future and devaluing this present moment. But we think our happiness is there. So I want you to take the T out of there and come here. I want you to take the T out of the word there and come here. Because here, this present moment, this now, is all you have. And this is where happiness lives. Here. But it's so habitual to us. We're so conditioned to look external, to the exogenous. Substances, things, objects, trips, vacations, relationships. This is what's going to make us happy. This is what we think. And so we have this mental to-do list to make us happy. Shiny new car, go to a beach in Hawaii, get a new boyfriend, the new iPhone, big screen TV. It's just like this insatiable appetite. It's bottomless, that we just keep looking for the next new thing. And I get it, because we associate the happiness with that object, because we actually do get happy when we get that new iPhone or take that trip or vacation. But you'll notice that the happiness is temporary and it's fleeting. And we're just chasing horizons. It's like a hit of dopamine. Feels good, but maybe what, for an hour, an afternoon, maybe a day? If it's a really nice car, maybe a week. But it fades like a caffeine buzz. It just burns off. And then we're on to the next new thing. This is retail therapy, right? You go buy another pair of shoes and another purse. And it's like, how many pairs of shoes and purses do you need? Your closet's full. So then what do? We buy a bigger house with a bigger closet so that we can buy more shoes and fill up that closet. It's just bottomless, endless, an insatiable appetite. We're just chasing horizons. This constant seeking, craving, desiring. It just never ends. And some of us go all our lives just seeking the next new thing and getting that hit of dopamine. And like, oh, that feels good. Then it burns off. And like, okay, now we're off to the next new thing. I have a family member who literally said the other day, he's in a rough marriage, and he literally said, I had to buy a new car to be happy. Think about that. So we have this mental to-do list that we think makes us happy. But I want you to create a to-be list. Keep your to-do list. Go ahead and keep buying those things and take those trips and stuff. But recognize that that's not the source of your happiness. I want you to create a to-be list. We're human beings, not human doings. Connect back to yourself. Be a human being, not a human doing where we're seeking and craving and desiring and distracting ourselves nonstop. It's just exhausting. And some of us go our whole lives that way, and we just collapse at the end and like, we got all these toys, and yet, gosh, I never really was happy. What happened? Happiness lives within. Connect to yourself. If you watched any of my other videos, I talk so much about this theme. It's like to find awareness. There's many words for awareness: consciousness, being, presence, the divine, the beloved, whatever word you want to use. Connect to that. Start a to-be list and learn how to connect to that. And by the way, my next video will be how to find awareness, this presence within us. So if you sort of understand what I'm saying, but gosh, how do I find this? How do I live from presence? How do I abide in awareness? Stay tuned for the next video I'm going to share with all of you. So please do click on the like button here and subscribe, and you'll get all my future videos as well. But all this seeking and craving and desiring and things and objects that we use to distract ourselves, it's just fleeting. It's temporary. It's chasing horizons. And I hope you can see that. And this leads me to where we are looking outside in for our happiness. We're looking external for the exogenous from the outside world to make us feel good on the inside. And it sort of works, right? When everybody behaves just exactly the way you want them to, and events unfold just the way you want them to, and you get your shiny new car or whatever object, or shoes or purse or iPhone or trip to Italy, which I highly recommend. But I didn't get the memo that you were in charge of the universe. People don't behave the way you want. Your boyfriend leaves the toothpaste cap off and you get angry. Your husband comes late from work or doesn't take the kids out on the weekend when you want it. Stuff happens, right? So if you're basing all your happiness on the outside world, outside in, you're going to suffer a lot. You're not going to be happy. You're going to have temporary moments of happiness, but it's going to be like a yo-yo. You're happy, then this happens, and you're not unhappy, and then you're not happy. It's an exhausting way to live. And then we wonder why we need a drink at the end of the day, or Prozac, or weed, or a cigarette. And this, by the way, is the start of addictions. So this constant craving, the seeking, the desire for the next new thing, it just never ends. But there's a better way to live. And that's what I want to talk to you about. And that's living from inside out rather than outside in. Connect to yourself. The nature of your being is happiness. The nature of your being is peace. This peace and happiness that we all want so much is available within. If you can connect to this, and again, there are many words for it that you've probably read about or heard on podcasts. I've talked about this in many of my other videos. If you can connect to awareness, if you can live in presence, consciousness, the divine, the being, the observer, the silent watcher, the seat of self, whatever word you want to use, it's all the same thing. But if you can connect to this, and this essentially is who we are, this is where happiness lives. So find that and connect to it. Take your stand as it. Establish yourself as awareness. be inside out rather than outside in. Because then when you're inside out, you're good inside. And you can deal with all the stuff that's outside. You're not trying to manage the world and make sure everybody behaves in a certain way and things unfold just the way I need them to be happy. It's like the depths of the ocean. They're calm and they're still and they're quiet and they're peaceful. And things could be raging on the surface. Yet thunder and lightning and storms and big waves and noise and everything on the surface, but down in the depths of the ocean, it's calm, still, peaceful. Happiness lives within us. You need to connect to that. Because if you're not good on the inside, whatever the outside brings you will not bring you happiness. I remember this so vividly. I was on a beach in Maui with a beautiful girl, perfect weather. I think it was like July. And I was just miserable. And the contrast was so stark. Here I am in paradise with a beautiful girl. The weather was great, sandy beach, beautiful ocean view. And I was just miserable. I wasn't good on the inside. So it doesn't matter what's on the outside. And I think all of you can relate to something like this. Whatever it is that you're seeking to make you happy, like you go buy that new Range Rover and you're like, oh man, that feels great. You're driving it, you feel great. But a week later you have a bad day and you get back in that Range Rover and the Range Rover's not making you happy. You're still upset or depressed or whatever. So is the Range Rover the source of your happiness? That new iPhone 15, if you get that, you get that hit of dopamine. Oh man, I'm happy, I got it. Shouldn't that mean that every time you look at your iPhone, and most of you are staring at your iPhone all day, shouldn't that mean that you'll always be happy every time you're on TikTok or Facebook or texting somebody? And yet, maybe even 3 hours after you buy the iPhone, you sink back. That mind-made activity kicks in, that thought patterns, and you're seeking the next new thing. And it's just this addiction to seeking and craving and desiring. And if you can see that, how we just continue to distract ourselves, it's so exhausting. That's why we all suffer from fatigue, but depression and anxiety and ADHD, because we're just too distracted. We can't focus. We can't come within. There's happiness and peace within. I've talked about this a lot in my other videos. Please watch that if you don't really fully understand what I'm saying. And my next video again will be how to access this awareness, this essential self, who we truly are. So keep your to-do list. Go to Italy. Go to that beach in Hawaii. Go buy whatever car you want. But recognize that's not the source of your happiness. Come inside out. So whatever you do, however you engage in the world, you're centered with equanimity inside. You're the depths of the ocean. Whatever's happening outside in the outside world, it's good. You're intimate with, yet free from that, because you're so centered inside. That's a beautiful way to live. And it's available to all of us. So thank you. Onward and upward, love and light.